stepping into Junior's Corner, bitches.
Introducing a new podcast,
Junior's Corner.
Junior's Corner.
In this corner,
You are now tuning into Junior's Corner.
Step into the ring.
Where's my mic?
Let's go.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to one more episode of Junior's Corner, aka the Jerry Lopez Show. How are y'all doing? Muchly appreciate your subscriptions, and hopefully we get more of you coming in. The podcast I want to recommend today is The Fighter and the Kid. The Fighter and the Kid is one of my favorite podcasts. Like I said in my other videos, I said that I treat podcasts like TV shows, so I'll kind of bench watch them or bench listen to them, and then I'll move on. Right now I'm actually on The Brilliant Idiots, which is cool, but I want to talk about The Fighter and the Kid. That's one of the first podcasts that I discovered. Anywhere that you get a chance to listen to the radio or a podcast, this is a good one, because for one, they're not politically correct, but they are respectful, so they're not afraid to touch bases on different subjects, current events going on. But there's a whole PC culture out there that gets offended over anything, and that's what they're not. Maybe because they're on YouTube, they have more freedom to talk about stuff. I know that when they went over to Fox really put a red tape around them. Second reason why you would enjoy hearing The Fighter and the Kid, not just listening to them, but they actually record their show on YouTube also. So reason number two why I think you would enjoy hearing The Fighter and the Kid, they put in extra hours on everything they do. Brendan Schaub, I think, has three. He has The Fighter and the Kid. He has the Below the Belt. He has the Theo Vaughn's. What's it called? It's called King Bee and the Sting. No, The Rat and the Sting. He has three. And he has a comedy show out now called You'd Be Surprised. I haven't seen it. I definitely do plan on seeing that. I want to see what's up. But beyond that, Brian Callen also has a TV show. He actually had his podcast before Brendan Schaub, and I think that's how they got their ball rolling. I think Brendan Schaub was on Brian Callen's podcast. I think it was called Dropping Knowledge. I tried hearing a couple of those episodes. I'm gonna be honest with you, him by himself wasn't that great. But yeah, dude, they have TV shows, they have stand-up comedies, they have podcasts, but that's not how they started. They started, like everyone did. Their hard work paid off now. Let's move on to number three. Reason number three why I want to encourage you subscribers to check out The Fighter and the Kid. Their segments are super fucking informative. They have this one segment called Current Events. Basically, they just go through current events and they talk about what's going on. The producer Chin looks up for things going on, whether it be on Twitter or just general world news. They talk about stuff that I end up seeing elsewhere, and honestly sometimes I hear it from them first. And although I don't always agree with all the stuff they're talking about, I appreciate how they aren't afraid of talking about different aspects of different political views, or they talk about the stuff that's in the news but that general networks don't want to really touch, like when it's about the other side of the Me Too movement, such as guys saying that they're getting accused falsely of the Me Too movement. But see, that's not a popular thing to say, so those people don't make it to the higher up networks. We end up listening about it through podcasts or through social media, where nobody is really afraid of, well, I don't want to say is really afraid of speaking up, because they do police what you can say, which is great, because you don't want, I have kids and I don't want them seeing stupid shit. Alright, let's move on to number four. The Fighter and the Kid have an extensive library of videos. I think they have more than, as far as I know, more than 700, probably more than that. You're not gonna have a shortage of episodes to listen to. You're probably gonna get tired of listening to them before you run out of episodes. They take a big page out of the Joe Rogan podcast by trying to have different guests, and whenever they're gone, they have guest host, which that's fucking awesome. That's how I got hooked on Theo Vaughn too, and that's that's gonna be a podcast that I'll be reviewing sometime in the future. But they have a shit ton of guests, special guest host, and my favorite part is they touch up on sports. So if I'm listening to a podcast that doesn't really know about sports, I kind of lose that extra little information, because sometimes I don't have time to watch TV or something, so I'll just be working or listening to whatever podcast I'm indulged in. One more thing about The Fighter and the Kid is their producers. Their producers are great. I think Evan was his name before Chin. Evan was a cool guy. Chin, even when it's behind the scenes, he's working behind the scenes. They had this one other girl, I forgot her name. I think currently they have a different girl, Kat. She's pretty cool too. I like it when some podcasts talk to their producers. The producers kind of gain fame from them, and not necessarily because they're looking for it, but dude, sometimes they change producers, and I'm gonna be honest, the producer sometimes ends up being a major reason of why the show is so successful. Not in this case, I mean, Chin, you're fucking great, but Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub are equally cool. Well, not equally, they got a little bit more talent. So there you have it. If they're not politically correct, watching them makes you want to put in extra hours, because they obviously put in extra hours and they're very inspiring. They have current events and they have a shit ton of videos. You're not gonna fucking finish them in maybe 2 months, maybe 2 months. I think you'll get sick of them before that, but sick of them in a good way. You'll definitely want to go back to their podcast, and some of them are hearable twice, but also I think you'll discover other podcasts because of the guests that they have, and it'll just open up a door for you to discover different podcasts. So the hardest part of the show is letting go, so I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, hit that like button. Check you out later.